Hello and welcome to our Cobra Kai Season 5 review. I'm Joe. Here with me is my co-host Stan.
Hello and greetings.
And we're just going to jump ahead of reviewing start episode by episode like we planned to do with Cobra Kai, because we're generally going to do that with every episode starting with Season 1 because it is a great series up until the end of Season 4. Season 4 was great. But then there was that scene where they hint that Tori's going to have a redemption arc, which, oh, Lord, no, please no. You have a character who's been proven to be more sociopathic than the Zodiac Killer or Jack the Ripper, more sociopathic than Dutch from Karate Kid 1, and he was the psycho of the Cobra Kai characters in that movie. And you want to redeem her? Okay. Yeah, Season 5 is garbage. We're just going to come out and say it. It's trash. It is one of the worst TV seasons I've seen in years. Decades, even. Honestly, it's just shocking how bad it is. From some of the acting to the writing. Heavens, what happened? But anyways, we'll go character by character what went wrong. Johnny and Carmen, because they are basically one character. Very little is done with these characters. When Johnny is essentially supposed to be the main character, let's be honest, he essentially is the main character of Cobra Kai.
I like the plot where Carmen gets pregnant.
But the plot should have been stretched out a little more.
I agree.
But in a different way, there should have been a bit more drama. Because why not? Because it's just boring the way they did it. As for Johnny, he doesn't do anything all season long except to worry about a baby, which just feels boring. Get him teaching.
And going all the way to Mexico to
find that
Miguel.
Stupid plot.
That one was a bit too stretched out.
Yeah, that should have been one episode. The bonding between him and Robbie, to an extent, isn't entirely so bad. That's the one positive. Robbie getting a redemption arc, fine. That's fine. Now, in season 1 through 3, Robbie was irredeemable. But Robbie needed to suffer and see Kenny turn into a psychopathic monster who reminds me of Eber Thawne from the freaking Flash comics, which scared the living bejesus out of me. That kid actor is so talented. Honestly, that kid, like, he's going to be winning awards one day. That kid has serious mad talent. Because the way he looked at the end of season 4 with how he was threatening to torture and stalk Anthony. Oh my gosh. This kid, I love him as an actor. He's so talented. And I like how disturbed Robbie was in that scene. But almost nothing is done to an extent that's positive with Robbie outside the redemption arc. I like that he gets redeemed. I'm sorry, I know you were slightly less for that, but I like that. I like the way it was done. Seeing a bigger monster, I think, helped Robbie as a character because it allows him to look at someone and go, oh my gosh, am I that close to becoming that? I don't want that.
What do I want to be when I graduate?
Yeah, I don't want to be that, whatever that kid has become. Which, that's great. You know, that means that Robbie, his cage is rattled, so to speak. But then, the problem is the Miguel-Robbie patch-up thing is so rushed. They should have stretched out that drama for a season. And I know some people are going to go, no, yes, this is a drama.
There's a lot that's gone on between these two, including getting kicked over a balcony and getting one of their backs broken.
I mean, should have had is the forgiveness happen in the season finale. After a big moment where Robbie pulls through for Miguel and comes to help him out and they fight together. Like what happened with Hawk and Dimitri at the end of season 3, I think. They should have gone that way. But they didn't want to. They wanted to rush through it. Which is stupid. Which is utterly stupid. Which is how the season should be described. Utterly stupid. Utterly garbage. Miguel. Nothing is done with the character.
He was sidelined.
And then he just moons after Sam, who decides he just doesn't do it for her, which is such a stupid, overused storyline these days. Sam, she's basically no longer into Miguel for some odd reason, which is so annoying. All this drama over the course of 4 seasons for her to get with Miguel, only for her and Miguel to decide they don't want to be... What the... Well, actually, it's more she decides she doesn't want him anymore because he doesn't do it for her. Yeah, that was so annoying. Hawk gets nerfed by Kenny, which is so dumb. Why is that? Hawk should have just mopped the floor with him, cackled, and walked away. What they should have done was introduced a few new students for Silver. And I'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so Hawk's through. Maybe something should have been done with Dimitri. Nothing was done with him. I like Dimitri. Yeah, the first 2 seasons or so, I didn't much care about him. But season 3's finale and all of season 4, I think it's season 3, wherein he ends up, kind of getting his arm broken, but finds himself. And then ends up fighting alongside Hawk. That season was perfect for Dimitri. It did a lot of good for Dimitri's character, and season 4 also did a lot of good for the character. Dimitri has become a great character. I found him annoying at first, but I love where he went. He's become the sly, clever Miyagi-Do character, which I wish he got more attention and focus.
He was the kid that needed to be humbled.
Yeah, him as, well, like Robbie, to an extent. But then you've got Anthony, who's suddenly the smartest Miyagi-Do student when he was originally really, really dumb. That makes no sense.
He needs to progress.
They need to decide what his character is and personality is. Okay, that aside. The Eagle Fang students are all over the place. The one plump one, P-Breath, is now angry that he had to leave Cobra Kai. What? No, he was an overeager Eagle Fang in season 3 and 4. What the heck happened here? You've got Kreese, who's behind bars. Thank you. Now you can write the character out. Oh, wait, we have a dead horse over here. Let's beat the stuffing out of it. I hated them bringing back Kreese. He was written out. I actually, when they did the fake out where he died, I remember going, good. Now they've raised the stakes. Kreese is gone forever. You can pin that on Silver, where Silver had him done away with when he realized Kreese was planning an escape, and Silver decided, I have decided to fully shed my weakness. I don't want Kreese running around anymore. But, nope. Kreese has to be back out on the streets. Oh, for free. Just kill this character off. Kreese has become a dead horse.
The story with Kreese has been concluded.
And I like that scene where Silver tells him after Kreese asks him, what did you do? I am shedding my weakness, Captain. That scene is perfect. Why would you then nerf that scene? No, they removed all impact of that scene. Yeah, that's terrible.
It's like several seasons involving Danny, Johnny, and now Silver getting over their issues with Kreese.
Yeah, and now they want to bring it back. It's just, Okay. Well, at least Kreese can do martial arts. I don't even know if Johnny could this season, given how little he does. Sorry, I know I'm bitter. Yeah, I know he has the one bar fight, but that's not enough. And I guess the beach fight, but who cares about that? Okay, Amanda decides she's taking the kids and leaving, because of course she is.
Again.
Yeah, again. Seems to be her de facto move. And she goes to a bar with the Karate Kid 3 girl who turns out to be a monster because her and Amanda have no problem with dragging 2 kids at 2 in the morning or something to a bar.
And then proceeding into a bar fight of their own.
Yeah, and she complains about Danny getting into fights and as a bad role model for the kids. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Amanda is the worst parent in this entire series. Bad wife, bad mom. Why couldn't we get Kumiko as the main love interest to Danny? And on that note, they're planning to stick Kumiko Chosen. Basically, the guy who said he wanted to gang R her in Karate Kid 3. I mean 2. Karate Kid 2. And she then ends up chucking stuff at Chosen and complaining about how much she's hated him since she could walk. In Karate Kid 2, she actually says that stuff. That's the thing. Not to mention there's the fact that Yukie begged Mr. Miyagi to take her away to America with him and to marry her. Miyagi promised. But it turns out Miyagi is the sort of guy who uses and dumps a woman. At least that's what this show says. Because if Kumiko had gone to America alongside Yukie and Mr. Miyagi, as was intended with the ending of Karate Kid 2, then Kumiko would have ended up with Danny. And honestly, we wouldn't be in half these messes. That said, there would still be drama, you could still do, but we would not have Amanda. If only. Seriously, someone write fan fiction, or maybe we'll make fan fiction videos of what if Danny married Kumiko instead. Tell us in the comments.
Hell.
And if we get enough views and subs and likes and comments begging for that, we might just do it. Because why not? Anyways. Chosen. Turns out, actually, he's almost likable in this season, except for that stupid Kumiko thing. They should have paired him up with that one little girl Danny rescued. When they were and whatnot. They should have paired him up with her, because there's no baggage there. Or pair him up with the Karate Kid 3 love interest. Or the Karate Kid 4 main character. Just anyone but Kumiko. Anyways. Chosen does not really pull off a lot because he's too busy being an idiot and exposing himself almost instantly to Silver, who's smarter than him and knows more about Japan than him, which is seriously weird. Then you've got... Heck, the sword fight is almost laughable. Then you've got Mike Barnes. No complaints. Actually, Mike Barnes has done perfectly.
Yeah.
If only he got more scenes.
A pity the actor was injured off set.
Yeah, so that he couldn't really do half the action scenes he was supposed to. If only. Then that could have eaten up into any of the scenes with any of the other characters.
And it might have been better to have him go up against Silver rather than Chosen.
I would have preferred that. And it would have been a more even fight because we all know Mike Barnes is better than Chosen. Chosen is probably the weakest of the three rivals. And I say that because in Karate Kid 2, Danny basically curb stomps him at the end. Like, that's not a battle. That's a massacre. Even before the drum technique, it was such a massacre. That was just the final straw that broke the camel's back. The trouble is that Mike Barnes dominated Danny in Karate Kid 3. Johnny has gotten so much character development and has shown that pressure point technique doesn't fully... Like, he can think around it. And Mike Barnes is such an overwhelming monster that he could probably beat down Chosen with enough time and energy. So, Chosen was the worst possible person to pair against Silver, so of course he would lose. Then they hinted that they were killing him off, then cop out on it, which is not something I... If you're going to basically say you're going to kill a character off, you can't cop out on it twice. You copped out on Kreese, now you copped out on Chosen. You have to kill someone. No, you have to. That aside, Kim Sa-eun, I don't really care. She seems maniacal, but she's almost more funny. She wants to push, apparently, more for Devon Lee, which I actually like the idea that Devon Lee surpasses Tori and becomes a main female villainess in terms of the teen characters. That'd be great. But they didn't do that. That's dumb.
She seems more like a Bond chick villain.
Kim Sa-eun?
Yeah.
The actress is pretty enough. I'm just saying, she's pretty. But then you've got... Oh, and one other thing about Tori, before anyone goes, well, of course Tori has to be redeemed. No, I just remembered I did not fully finish my point there. Tori is the same girl who started a school fight over Miguel and Sam kissing, only to scream and break down crying over Miguel breaking his back, only to, within 3 months, have fun time with the guy who did that to Miguel. She is a psychopath. No joke. She is a legitimate psychopath. And in season 3, they're implying she should be on medication I actually think she's more of a psychopath than Silver. Terry Silver is a psycho. Well, he's more a sociopath. She is a legitimate serial killer style person.
Maybe her brother would be better off in the foster system.
Or with that aunt. I'm serious. Because Tori's just a psycho. She's a monster. What you do with that character is you take her all the way to the Dutch zone, where she goes that bonkers. Or, if you're going to hint at a redemption arc, you kill her off. Why? To force character development down Sam's throat.
And to raise the stakes. That's what Silver does. He raises the stakes.
He did that at the end of season 4. They didn't want to escalate the stakes. And now we get to Danny LaRusso. Wife takes kids from him, descends into drunken mess, because he has to now imitate Johnny Lawrence's arc so that he could become a more likable character.
Again.
That seems to be what they're thinking, but Danny's not Johnny. You can't take him down the same route as Johnny.
And he's already been through such a similar story in these series.
Yeah, but then Danny ends up in one season going from unable to even touch Silver to beating him? Man, this is like 3 seasons crammed into one. I really did not like that. They should have stretched this season out into 3 seasons. This is way too much content for one season. All I can say is I pray they retcon it that Silver threw the fight because of the plot, or the lack of plot. And that Silver wanted to do that just to sue Danny and take the auto group from him and tear him down financially for assaulting an old man. The only way they can salvage the series is if Silver does that, which raises the stakes, and if the entirety of the teen team, like all the teenagers, are disqualified from the Sekai Hyotai or whatever the world tournament is, or the national tournament, because the problem is the teenagers did breaking and entering, as did Danny, and then they beat the snot out of Silver. That's illegal. That's assault. And here's the thing. He has all the money. He's a billionaire. Jail? Pfft. He doesn't go to jail. Not to mention, well, he could... Here's the thing. Oh, well, we have a video clip. Of what? Pretty much, I think it's him admitting to bribing an official. Okay, but that's not a major crime. Oh, Stingray. Stingray going back on, well, he said, Kreese assaulted me. But then he says, oh, no, wait, it was Silver. Actually, that means he committed fraud on the stand. That means Stingray is looking at several years of jail time. And is any judge or court going to believe anything he says now? No. So, and Silver has the best lawyers in the world. Stingray's out of the, like, he's done. No, like, that's it. Like, that's it. He's legally finished. Danny is all but legally finished. But Danny does have some money, so he might not be entirely broken. But the thing is, you have to basically do the Rocky 5 thing of bring him down back to poverty, like he was in Karate Kid 1, because Silver. The other way of salvaging this is that you need now for Johnny and Danny to bring together a new team, because the main members of their team are done. There's no way they could break into a place, hack personal files, and then proceed to beat people up on top of trespassing. So, yeah, they're looking at either juvie in some cases or jail in others. And Silver can do that. No, like, legally, if you look at this entire situation, Silver's actually the victim. No, he's the wronged party. So that it's just, okay, what were the heroes thinking? Really, they should have had an extra editor or 3 in the room reading these scripts and going, okay, listen to the writers. We're going to take your coarse beer away from you. We need you to sober up, princes, whatever you want to identify as, like, whether you want to be a princess or a prince or whatever. I'm being deliberately demeaning here. Listen, stupid. You cannot do that with the characters because they are now looking at hard time.
I just want to smack the writers and editors over the head.
Yeah, I know. This season was the worst. And now we're going to do our 0 to 4 rating that we always do with all our reviews. Now let's rate this. I'm going to say a 0.
-3.
We don't do negatives.
Well, I do it now for the specific occasion.
Okay, I'll actually say this is in the top 10 or even the top 3 worst TVs or movies season or whatever that I've ever seen in my life. This is intolerable.
Between watching Karate Kid 2 recently and watching this, I don't know if I want to keep on going in the 6th season.
Yeah, I hope they don't get renewed because they just wrecked this. They just wrecked the series, and they did it pretty much happily. Just going, we're going to take a wrecking ball to Cobra Kai, which up to this moment has been basically perfect. We're going to take a wrecking ball to that. Let's also drop a nuke on Karate Kid 2 and 3. Why? Because honestly, Terry Silver is one of my favorite characters. Same with Kumiko. I know they're 2 of your favorites as well.
It's like Silver's a Bond villain. How is Danny and Johnny supposed to fight that?
But then it's just, by just
Trespassing.
Smacking them around a little.
Like, I admit...
But heck, in the last season when Johnny trespassed, Johnny really paid the price for that. No joke, like, he got the snot beaten out of him, remember? He got the snot beaten out of him. But that trespassing scheme was just that, a scheme on Silver's part. But anyways, the only positive was...
when Johnny, Mike, and Chosen all decided to, on a drunken...
dare, almost.
To ram through the gate with the car... Where all 3 of them were eager. Oh, let's go beat up Silver.
Yeah, and I like how you have... I see 4 consequences here. And I actually wish that they actually had Danny say, yes, let's do this in the end. Because that would have been more interesting. Where all 4 of them get the snot beaten out of them. That would really raise the stakes. Because Danny's not alone trying to fight Silver. He's got his former rivals. Which would be such an iconic moment. And people may not agree with me, but I think that it would have been better had we seen... Mike, Chosen, Johnny, and Danny all team up against Silver and lose because they're all drunk. And where afterwards, what do we see in season 6? We see that kind of, Eye of the Tiger type training where the 4 of them put themselves through heck. Or even a Rocky IV montage of Hearts on Fire. Oh, come on. Like, how come Rocky 3 and 4 were able to do this entire storyline? No, they did. Stallone did with Rocky 3 and 4, except better. And actually successfully. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, do feel free to smash that like and that subscribe button as though you're Silver smashing in Danny's shins and face in. And if you dislike this video, do feel free to smash that like and that subscribe button as though you're Danny smashing Kreese's face in.